evening. It's 6 p.m. on Saturday the 17th of June, and welcome to our Saturday evening news, coming to you live from the heart of Wyke, Regis. And in the news this week, there we go, first picture. Summerfest, a one-day fun festival organised by Weymouth and Portland Roundtable at Redlands Leisure and Community Park on June 3rd, raised over £23,000 for local charities and organisations. Members of the Round Table wanted to raise vital funds for the Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance after one of their own, Grant Tewkesbury, suffered a serious brain injury and required an airlift to Southampton Hospital. Following months of rehabilitation, Grant was able to attend the Summerfest as guest of honour. Summerfest was a huge success for the Round Table, welcoming thousands of visitors for a packed day of fun activities. There was much to see and do on the day, ranging from a climbing wall, inflatable theme park, top bins football tournament, hot air balloon rides, classic car displays, combat lab demonstrations, and much, much more. Entry was free with an optional donation. The bulk of the money raised came from the grand raffle draw. Delighted with the success of Summerfest, Chairman of Weymouth and Portland Roundtable, Adam Luckhurst, has said, "I want to thank everyone who supported Summerfest, from our many generous sponsors to the many traders, exhibitors and the fantastic musical talent and the thousands of generous visitors who donated to our fantastic causes. I'm pleased to announce that we raised an incredible £23,000. This means we'll be presenting a cheque of £13,000 to the Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance. We'll also be purchasing the 2 defibrillators we promised for Weymouth Harbour. The remaining funds will be in reserve to support other local causes for the rest of this year and into next." After the success of Summerfest 2023 and following a wealth of positive feedback from visitors, Adam is pleased to announce that Summerfest will return in 2024. Now, this week has been Diabetes Awareness Week, with people in Dorset being urged to find out more about the condition and seek advice if they recognise the symptoms. Diabetes is a serious condition where your blood glucose levels is too high. It can happen when your body doesn't produce enough insulin, or the insulin it produces isn't effective, or when your body can't produce any insulin at all. The common symptoms of diabetes include going to the toilet a lot, especially at night, being really thirsty, feeling more tired than usual, losing weight without trying to, itching around the genitals, cuts and wounds that take longer to heal, and blurred vision. Over a long period of time, the high glucose levels in your blood can seriously damage your heart, your eyes, your feet, and your kidneys. But with the right treatment and care, people can live a healthy life, and there's much less risk that someone will experience these complications. Now, Dr. Martin Longley is a GP at Milton Abbas and diabetes lead for NHS Dorset, and he has said 1 in every 15 people are affected by diabetes, which means in Dorset around 44,000 people are living with the condition. During Diabetes Awareness Week, I'm encouraging everyone in Dorset to take 10 minutes out of their day to find out more about the condition and how to reduce their risk, as more than half of cases of type 2 diabetes could be prevented or delayed by making simple lifestyle changes. Now, anyone who'd like to find out more about diabetes and what to look out for and find out more about support can go to diabetes.org.uk. That's diabetes.org.uk. Now, officers from Dorset Police are appealing for witnesses to come forward after an assault and subsequent theft in Weymouth. The incident occurred at around 6:50 p.m. on Saturday the 10th of June on Western Bridge. It's reported that the victim, a man aged in his 20s, was assaulted by 3 young male offenders. The victim's wallet and phone fell out of his pocket during the incident and was subsequently stolen before the group left in the direction of Abbotsbury Road. Police Constable Dan Goswell of Weymouth Police said, "I'm keen to speak to anyone who is in the vicinity and may have seen any suspicious activity or witnessed the incident take place." The victim did not sustain any physical injuries, but was left feeling very distressed, and we are doing all we can to investigate the circumstances of the incident. Now, like any incident or any information you've got for Dorset Police, you can pass this to them by calling them on 101, that's 101, or if you wish to give the information anonymously, you can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on free phone 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, children and young people with special educational needs and disabilities and their families have benefited from the work of Dorset Council and its co-production partners over the past year, but they have also faced some challenges. The achievement of the work of Dorset Council, NHS Dorset and Dorset Parent Carer Council are available to read in a newly published SEND Strategy Impact Report. And you can get that from the Dorset Council website by going to Google and searching for Dorset Council SEND Strategy Impact Report. The report details the partnership's progress towards improving people's lives through delivering its key strategic objectives, underpinned by 6 priorities ranging from inclusion to preparation for adulthood. Activity has included improving the quality of education, improving support services and outcomes for children and young people with special educational needs, and enhancing the local provision. The report also acknowledges that there are still areas where improvement is needed. For example, there have been a significant increase in the number of children and young people receiving educational health and care plans, or EHCPs, with over 3,000 plans now in place. The pandemic has led to more people needing help with their mental health, so the early support hubs and the CAMS gateway are being expanded to meet the increase in need. Mental health support in schools is also being made more readily available. Now, parents and carers who have children or young people aged 0 up to 25 with special educational needs or disability can share their experiences and views from the last 12 months through the Dorset Impact Survey 2023. The survey closes at midnight on Monday the 26th of June, and all respondents will be entered into a prize draw to win a Moores Valley gift voucher. Now, anyone who wants to take part in this can send an email to familyinfo@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. That's familyinfo@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk, or you can call them on 01305 221 066, or you can search online for Dorset Council Dorset Impact Survey SEND, Dorset Impact Survey SEND, and you can do it online, or if you ring that number or contact their email address, they will send you a paper copy or help you complete the survey. Now, the Weymouth Flood and Coastal Protection Project is starting its second round of public engagement, giving everyone the chance to comment on the scheme. Led by Dorset Council, the project aims to deliver improved protection against flooding and coastal erosion in Weymouth. Dorset Coast Forum are leading on the engagement for the scheme. The team are now showing potential proposed measures and initial design sketches for Weymouth Harbour and the Esplanade. As the details of these measures are developed, the project team are reaching out to the local community and businesses to understand their views on potential impacts and opportunities. The project aims to work with the community to reduce flood and erosion risk to homes and businesses, protecting lives and livelihoods whilst ensuring that current and future generations of residents, business owners and visitors can continue to enjoy a prosperous and resilient Weymouth. Now, there's an event at the Angling Club in Weymouth in Commercial Road on Monday the 26th of June from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m, where you can go along, you can look at those initial ideas and proposals, and you can provide your feedback on them. So that's at the Weymouth Angling Club in Commercial Road, Weymouth, Monday the 26th of June from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Now, the Dorchester bid, the Business Improvement District, has been funding the provision of the latest technology defibrillators in the town for over 10 years. Improvements in technology mean the units become much easier to use, and the latest Zoll defibrillators that the bid has purchased talk the user through how to use them, which means anyone should be able to use them in an emergency. Phil Gordon, Dorchester bid project director, told us the defibrillator units that we have funded for Dorchester have already saved lives, which is wonderful. One unit that was requested by and part funded by the business in Derngate Street was used to save a life just days after being installed, which was fantastic news. 4 brand new Zoll defibrillators are being delivered and installed at the Dorset Post Office, Gould's Household, the Royal Oak and the Concierge Office in Brewery Square. The Dorset bid is currently going through a reballot for the 3rd time, and by the end of June, the defibrillator initiative, with more than 20 other projects that are all funded by the bid, will be in jeopardy at the end of July if they don't get enough yes votes from levy payers. So other things that the bid funds and runs that could end include town ambassadors, subsidised parking vouchers, hanging baskets and flags, Christmas trees and lights, event sponsorship including Christmas Cracker, Thomas Hardy Festival, Victorian Fair and the Dorchester Literacy Festival, and much more. So the Dorchester bid is very keen to urge all Dorchester businesses who get a vote to vote yes, so that these valuable resources and funding can be secured and continue to be provided to the town centre of Dorchester. And of course this is exactly the same situation in Weymouth. Every so many years there is a vote for the bid in Weymouth, which the last vote obviously was successful. Now, Dorset Wildlife Trust Nature Reserve on popular tourist destination of Brownsea Island has been shut with immediate effect following a suspected case of bird flu. The Wildlife Reserve will remain closed whilst an investigation takes place. A statement from Dorset Wildlife Trust, who operate the reserve on the island, said, "We are sorry for any inconvenience this has caused and will provide an update once the situation has been fully investigated," a Dorset Wildlife Trust spokesman said. Now, visitors can still go to the part of the island run by the National Trust. This only affects the Dorset Wildlife Trust reserve on Brownsea Island, not the general area of Brownsea that is under the control of the National Trust. As listeners and viewers will be familiar with, the island is home to a wide variety of birds. These include the dunlin, kingfishers, common and sandwich terns, and oyster catchers, and of course Brownsea's famous red squirrels. A new Scout headquarters is being planned for Weymouth West Scout Group, close to Radipole Lane in Weymouth. Dorset Council's Area Planning Committee is being asked to approve a larger building for the Weymouth West Scout Group. The Scout Group is seeking permission for the demolition of its existing hut based at Granby Close, which was built in the early 70s. They plan to replace it with a purpose-built modern building. The new building will be on the same triangular plot, although slightly larger, with better internal layout, more rooms, better energy efficiency and a glazed lobby area. It will be based around a multifunctional activity hall with 3 breakout rooms, office space, a large store, 4 toilets, accessible WC and shower room, and 2 individual shower cubicles. The building will be fitted with solar panels and an air source heat pump. A supporting letter from the Scout Group says Weymouth West has a history of more than 80 years with over 20 active leaders and youth members spread across 4 age-related sections, with plans to increase this to a 5th section of squirrels for 4 to 5-year-olds. The group says if they're granted permission and a grant being applied for is successful, works could start this September and be completed by December 2024. Now, it's Armed Forces Weekend in Weymouth, and that's running from today through to Monday. Armed Forces and veterans continue to make a significant contribution to the nation and Weymouth, and by celebrating and providing a focus on the veterans, charities and associations, that's what happens over Armed Forces Weekend. The event will start today with the arrival of the historic military vehicles on the Pavilion forecourt this morning, and with them parading along the esplanade just after midday. Tomorrow at 11 a.m, Weymouth Seafront will host an open-air service for all veterans at the Cenotaph, which will be followed by a parade along the seafront with marching bands and military vehicles. There will be band performances throughout the afternoon. And on Monday at 10:30, the weekend will end with Weymouth Town Council raising the flag at the new Town Hall in Commercial Road, Weymouth. Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Kate Weller, said the armed forces and veterans continue to make a significant contribution to our nation, and I'm delighted to be attending to honour and celebrate them at this memorable event. Now, you can get information on what's happening over the weekend by going to the Weymouth Town Council website and looking for the Armed Forces information, or just go along to Google and search for Armed Forces Weymouth Town Council. Armed Forces Weymouth Town Council, and it will take you straight to the page with a timetable of events for this weekend. Now, weekly visits to the NHS website hay fever advice have reached 122,000 as pollen levels rise. The number of hay fever sufferers seeking advice from the NHS website has more than tripled, reaching 122,650 visits last week. Analysis by NHS England, which runs the NHS website, found weekly visits to the hay fever page have increased by 252% in the past 5 weeks, from 34,878 visits during the first week of May. Last Sunday was the busiest day of the year so far, with almost 30,000 visits in 24 hours, an average of one visit every 3 seconds. The surge coincides with figures seen last year when hay fever page visits topped 1 million during the 6 months from March to October, with a peak in June similarly. NHS information pages on hay fever treatments have also provided popular during the past 5 weeks. Visits to antihistamines to cetrazine pages have more than doubled, and visits to fexofenadine page have more than tripled to reach 45,000 visits last week. Most hay fever symptoms can be effectively managed at home or with medication widely and cheaply available in community pharmacies and supermarkets. Robert Cleary, NHS England's content director for the NHS website, said, "Many of us experience hay fever symptoms at this time of year, and the NHS.UK hay fever advice page provides the latest medical advice to manage your symptoms, as well as giving guidance on when to get support from NHS services. There is currently no cure for hay fever, which usually hits between late March and September, when the weather is warm, windy and humid, and the pollen count is at its highest. The symptoms include sneezing, coughing and runny or blocked noses, as well as red, itchy or watery eyes. Sufferers can also experience headaches, earache or lose their sense of smell." The NHS hay fever page details several ways people can ease their symptoms, including staying indoors, keeping their windows shut, not cutting their grass, or coating their nostrils with Vaseline to trap the pollen. The page also offers advice on different treatments available from pharmacists and recommends when people should get help from their GP. So for more information, go along to www.nhs.uk and search for hay fever. And as a sufferer of hay fever myself, since young, yes, it can be a real nuisance at this time of year. Now, Weymouth Library is to host a talk on Lawrence of Arabia. The Friends of Weymouth Library, or FOWL for short, talk on Saturday, July the 1st is by Roger Holhouse, who has researched the life and career of Thomas Edward Lawrence, or Lawrence of Arabia as we know him. The archaeologist, army officer, diplomat and writer became renowned for his role in the Arab Revolt. His writing earned him international fame as Lawrence of Arabia. In 1962, a movie adaptation based on his writings was released. He spent his final years in Dorset and lies in Morton Graveyard. Now, the talk begins at 10:30, that's on the 1st of July, Saturday the 1st of July, starts at 10:30, and tickets are available at the library and cost £2 for Friends of Weymouth Library members and £3 for non-members. Refreshments will be available after the talk as well. And finally, in our headlines tonight, Castle Cove Open Gardens Weekend takes place on Saturday, June the 24th and Sunday, June the 25th. That's next weekend from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. There will be 14 gardens around Castle Cove area open to the public. The last Open Gardens event in the area held 2 years ago proved to be very popular, the organisers have said. You can pick up your maps and entry stickers from 1 p.m. on either day from one of the 3 pay points, which is 1 Old Castle Road, 31 Clearmount Road or 6 Hillcrest Road. There is no need to book in advance. There is a suggested donation of £5 per person, with all profits going to the Friends of Castle Cove Beach charity. Entry stickers are valid for both days. Refreshments are available along the route. So if you like looking at people's gardens, there are 14 gardens, I think it was, 14 gardens around Castle Cove that you can visit next weekend, and we'll remind you about that next Saturday as well. Now, that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, Castle Cove Sailing Club in Weymouth has celebrated 100 years of sailing with an event last weekend. Castle Cove Sailing Club celebrated its centenary over last weekend with a range of activities for the whole club, with sail pass, races and even a visit from friendly dolphins. The club was founded in 1923 by Alfred Douglas Honham Meek. The club is based at the clubhouse at Old Castle Road in Weymouth, and it's run entirely by volunteers. Club member and event organiser Sarah Lloyd said it was absolutely spectacular. We had a huge number of members and the sail pass was well above expectations. Now, I was lucky enough to be out on a boat in the sail pass last weekend, and I don't know how many boats there were, but it was certainly over 100. It may have been over 200. All sorts of boats of all different sorts of sizes. There was a fly past by 2 planes, and you can watch out for that in the video. And there was even a piper turned up on a boat with the bagpipes. And the one bit I didn't catch in my filming at the end of the event, because I was taken a bit by surprise as I was going back towards Portland, was the massive big tug from Portland Port came out and put its hoses on and sprayed a massive big fountain, but unfortunately I missed that. So here's some film I took last Sunday afternoon in the sail pass for the 100 years centenary of Castle Cove Sailing Club in Weymouth. That was on the boat, isn't it? There we go. That was Castle Cove's 100th centenary event last weekend. Now, if you want to have more information about Castle Cove, if you're interested in joining them for some sailing, their website is www.ccsc.org.uk, as in Castle Cove Sailing Club, www.ccsc.org.uk. Now, I was actually there with Chesil Sailability, who is a local charity that makes sailing available to people irrespective of their ability or disability. And Chesil Sailability have been very lucky to be supported financially by members at Castle Cove Sailing Club. And actually a lot of the volunteers at Chesil Sailability are members of Castle Cove Sailing Club. And we actually saw one of the boats there, the last boat you saw with the blue sail, was one of the 3 boats from Chesil Sailability that joined in the sail by last weekend. So I'd just like to say that Sailability is there. Just search for Chesil Sailability if you are less abled or disabled in any way and you'd like to experience the sea. And a big thank you to Castle Cove Sailing Club and their members for the support that they give to Chesil Sailability. Now, moving on to our second feature this week. Last week we mentioned about the new NHS Research Hub that had been opened in Lynch Lane in Weymouth at the Linden Unit. And this week we're pleased to share with you a video that's been released in the last couple of days by the NHS telling us all about the Research Hub and what it is there to do.
I live in Dorset. It's one of the most amazing counties. You've got the beaches, you've got the Purbecks, you've got the New Forest, you've got everything here you should possibly want.
It's a wonderful part of the world to live in.
The Weymouth Research Hub is a brand new facility for local people. If you live in this part of Dorset, you now have the chance to take part in clinical trials.
My name's Jane. I've lived in Dorset for most of my adult life. Well, I've come to the conclusion that if people don't come forward to help with research, we're never going to move forward with vaccines or treatments for certain illnesses and disabilities. It hasn't cost me anything, it's just taken an hour or so of my time every now and again. I've had an MOT as far as I'm concerned. I've had bloods checked and hearts and everything else, which I wouldn't normally have, and all that's being monitored as we go through the trial. You could help future generations with illnesses that, at the moment there's no treatment for.
Every trial relies on local people like Jane and Brian coming forward. We can't do it without your help. By getting involved, you are helping save and improve lives.
I'm Brian Pretty. I live in Dorset. Coming to the hubs are amazing. The staff and the nurses and everyone are absolutely so friendly and helpful. Well, I've got 6 grandchildren, and I'd like to think that my grandchildren will live as long as I will. And by doing these trials, it allows that to happen in future. It makes me feel that I'm helping.
Clinical research is vital for the health of our population. Every new treatment has to go through a process of clinical research, and without yourselves helping us, there cannot be any clinical research. We are here to develop new treatments that will help you and your family into the future. I'm really excited because the Weymouth Research Hub will allow the people of Weymouth and its surrounding localities to be involved. You can become an important part of the future of the NHS, an important part of helping us develop new and better treatments. So please do come and talk to us.
We'd love you to follow us on our social media. You can also register online. Just search Be Part of Research or look on your NHS app.
There we go, that's all about the Weymouth Research Hub. And as I said on the video there, just search for Be Part of Research. and you will find the website that you can register on to help out with those trials. And if you struggle with that, you can drop an email to research@dchft.nhs.uk. That's research@dchft.nhs.uk, and that gets you to the research team at Dorset County Hospital. Right, it's that time of the programme where we go over to our regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to White Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This weekend, The Flash releases in cinemas after years of production difficulties. The film stars controversial actor Ezra Miller as Barry Allen, a police forensic investigator who is secretly the superhero The Flash, with the ability to move at superhuman speeds using the Speed Force. The film revolves around Barry travelling back in time to prevent his mother's death, only for his actions to have unintended consequences. The initial response has been largely positive, with praise for the action, plot and acting, but criticism directed at the use of AI and deepfake software to include deceased or aged actors as multiverse variants of other characters. My responses to the trailers have been negative thus far due to my criticism of Miller's acting, the nonsensical plot, and unfaithfulness to the comics and previous adaptations. It's in cinemas this weekend, so go check it out. Last weekend, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts was released in cinemas as a standalone sequel to 2018's Bumblebee. The film revolves around two struggling Brooklyn residents in 1994 who get caught in the middle of the Autobots' battle to protect Earth from the dark god Unicron. Now, I went and checked this movie out as a fan, and I absolutely loved it. The script and CGI could have used a polish, but everything else was particularly enjoyable, especially the cinematography of the sequences filmed in Peru. I gave this film 4.5 stars out of 5. This week, John Wick Chapter 4 was released on home video. The film is a sequel to 2019's Chapter 3 and revolves around Keanu Reeves' John Wick looking for revenge on the massive criminal enterprise The High Table. I watched it for the first time on home video, and as a massive John Wick fan, I was very disappointed. I felt that the action scenes were well directed and there was great cinematography, but the script was way too long and clunky. I gave this film 3 stars out of 5 based solely on the strength of the action scenes. This weekend, the movie Extraction 2 releases on Netflix as a sequel to 2020's Extraction. The film stars Chris Hemsworth as an Australian Black Ops mercenary who gets hired to break a gangster's family out of prison. Now, I was looking forward to this movie as I really enjoyed the first film, and both films contain excellent action sequences that are well publicised, but what I enjoyed most about this movie was the great directing and the performances from the cast, despite a wonky pace. I gave this film 4.5 stars out of 5. This weekend, the anime film Black Clover: Sword of the Wizard King releases on Netflix as a standalone story to the Japanese manga Black Clover and its anime adaptation. The film revolves around magic knights Asta and Yuno fighting against 4 feared wizard kings who seek to take over the Clover Kingdom. Now, I was really excited for this movie considering the anime prematurely ended in 2021, and I have to say that as a fan, this film was incredible and fun with great animation and acting, even if the film was in a rush to get through the story, and there was some great fan service in the film. I gave this film 4.5 stars out of 5, and it is one I highly recommend. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will preview the new Wes Anderson film Asteroid City. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew. We'll be back with Andrew next week, as usual. It's that time in the programme where we go over to the Met Office for the national weather forecast for this weekend and the week ahead. And this week we are joined by Rachel Ayres. Let's go and see what Rachel's got to say for us.
Hello and welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. So it's been quite an unsettled start to the weekend, especially for those in the west. We've already seen some heavy showers this morning, and this is all due to an area of low pressure that's out to the west of the UK, bringing various occlusions across the UK from the southwest. And these are a bit of a focus for heavy showers and thunderstorms over the next few days. So as we look through the rest of this afternoon then, we will see heavy showers and thunderstorms. These thunderstorms will be most focused across Northern Ireland, Wales and southwest England, and we do have a yellow thunderstorm warning in force across Northern Ireland for the rest of this afternoon and into this evening. Further east, although you won't see thunderstorms here, there is a chance of seeing a short, sharp shower into the rest of this afternoon. But there will also be some hazy sunshine in some clearer spells. Looking at the temperatures though for today, the best of the temperatures will be where we see that hazy sunshine. So 24 to 26 is the high across the central and southern parts of England. As we head through this evening then, those showers from today will start to push north-eastward, so drying up a little bit for those across the far southwest. Always remaining driest though for eastern areas where we'll see some low clouds spreading in from the North Sea into the early hours of Sunday. We will start to see some more heavy showers as well, pushing into the far southeast into the early hours of Sunday, though the details still a little bit uncertain for that, so the closer to the coast you are, the greater chance you have of seeing a shower there. We also do have another yellow thunderstorm warning that comes into force at midnight, covering England and Wales. Now looking at the temperatures for tonight, with all that cloud and rain around, it's going to be another warm and pretty humid night, so temperatures still not dropping out of that low to mid-teens. So to start Sunday morning, the rest of today's showers and those overnight showers will continue to push north-eastwards, and then we'll start to see further showers popping up as we head through mid-morning and towards lunchtime. Once again, particularly across Northern Ireland and across England and Wales through the daytime on Sunday. So do keep an eye on the weather forecast and check the roads before you travel, as there could be some localised flooding that could affect roads through the daytime on Sunday. Temperature-wise tomorrow though, still faring fairly well, getting into the low to mid-20s once again with highs of around 25. Now heading into Sunday afternoon and evening, we get this plume of very warm air moving up from the continent, and this is going to be an area of interest for heavy showers and further thunderstorms through Sunday afternoon and evening. So we currently have those two yellow weather warnings in force, one for Northern Ireland and another for England and Wales, but they could change over the next 24 hours. So do check out our website and social media for the latest on where we're expecting the heaviest showers and thunderstorms through tomorrow afternoon and evening, as you could see further localised flooding, frequent hail and lightning too. Thank you for listening, and for all your latest weather updates, do check out our website and follow us on social media. Bye for now.
Thank you very much there, Rachel, and let's see what the weather forecast has in store for us this week with the local information. Still very warm and really following the national forecast, the chance of showers and possibly thunder at time, but lots of sunshine as well and very humid and sticky. So reasonable, good growing weather, a bit of sunshine and a bit of rain certainly makes the grass and the weeds unfortunately grow, and all those nice vegetables in the garden and the flowers. So very good growing weather this week. Now moving to our What's On section. First of all, Weymouth Pavilion tomorrow 18th of June, Sunday night comedy with Susie Raphael. 22nd of June, Sun Records, distinctive music of Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison and others. 23rd of June, Arrival, the hits of ABBA. 29th of June, Take That to Rule the World. That's a Take That tribute band, not Take That themselves. 30th of June, That'll Be the Day. 1st of July, AC/DC tribute. 2nd of July, Coldplay, who are supposed to be one of the leading tributes to Coldplay. The box office for all tickets, as usual, online, weymouthpavilion.com, or telephone 01305 783 225. That's 01305 783 225. Now turning to the Nothe Fort. 24th and 25th of June, next weekend, World War II Family Activity Weekend. 8th and 9th of July, Victorian Weekend. 29th of July, Songs in the Sun. And the 2nd of August, This Is My Theatre presents Much Ado About Nothing. The next local event from Arts Reach is Paprika, the Balkan and East European band. Now that's on Saturday the 15th of July, 7:30 at Portisham Village Hall. And for tickets and more information on that, you can pop along to Arts Reach, www.artsreach.co.uk, and see that and all the other events they've got coming up over the summer months. As regards church services in Wyke Regis this weekend, only one service, that's a 9:30 communion service at All Saints Church, Wyke Regis tomorrow. Now, turning to our other programmes, we have the June episode of A Year Gardening with Clive Gray. That will go out tomorrow, Sunday at 4 p.m, and will be repeated Friday evening at 7 p.m. And of course tonight at 7:30, in almost 3/4 of an hour, or just over 3/4 of an hour, we've got our Saturday night quiz. Free quiz for the whole community, all family friendly, and anybody is welcome, no charge. That will go live at about 7:20, with quiz questions starting at 7:30 as usual. Now that brings us to the end of another Saturday evening news programme. I will be back with you next Saturday at 6 p.m. In the meantime, if you've got any news or any information on events or any fundraising activities or anything else that you want to share with your local community here in Wyke Regis, across Weymouth and Portland and South Dorset, then do drop us a line at news@wykeregis.tv. That's news@wykeregis.tv, and we will be happy to share it with viewers next week. Well, it just remains for me to say have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Enjoy the sunshine, dodge the showers, and I'll be back with you next Saturday at 6. Good night.